Hey there guys, I'm in the studio with Corey, and today we're going to talk about the full circle mindset for Christian men. So Corey, how long have you been a Christian?
For about 20 years.
Yeah, okay, and I've been a Christian since I was probably 6 years old, so even longer, maybe twice as long for me. I think it's easy to get a mindset as a Christian man that you just go to church, check the box, go home.
Right.
What I don't know, let's label that mindset. What would that mindset maybe be called?
Probably lazy.
Yeah,
would be
that's
a good
good.
mindset. Or it would be, that's the bare minimum, if you will.
Okay, good.
Even if it is minimum, in my opinion, that's kind of the wimpy way of doing things.
Good.
So what's I guess the next step is what's a real full circle?
Yeah. And this is how, and we'll put a link to our Foundations for Men. It's a 3-week series. It's great. If you haven't watched it, check that out. But this is what we're talking about, is this full circle logo. This is how we define a Christian, right?
Right.
Is we say that a Christian man goes full circle. You don't just drop your kids off at church.
Right. No.
You don't just go once a week. And it's not even about going to church, right?
No.
It's about how you view your Christian life.
It's about leading by example also. You know, if you just drop your family off at church and you take off, or even if you're there and you're not participating, are you really leading by example? Or
that's great. So let's walk through the first thing. The first thing is we start by trusting Jesus. Corey, there are probably a lot of guys out there that might be watching this video that have never personally trusted Jesus for salvation. Maybe they've just been going to church.
Okay.
And they think that maybe going to church makes them a Christian, which would be kind of like, I use a man allegory here. It's kind of like sitting in a garage would make you a car, right? It's just not
make you a mechanic.
That's right, or a mechanic. That's true. Yeah. So what would you say to the guy out there who says, "Yeah, I don't know if I've even ever done that first thing," you know?
I would say you're missing out. I mean, there's a relationship there that Christ is waiting for you to take that step.
Yeah.
So if you take the first step towards Him, He's there ready for you.
Yeah.
So that the trusting part is the first step to kind of unleash the rest of the circle.
Yeah, that's good. So in fact, we'll put a link right here and below this. For those of you who have never done that, you can go ahead and have that conversation maybe with a mentor or with a trusted friend about getting what we call getting to your defining moment. That moment when you put your faith in Christ and you actually become a Christian. Because again, going to church doesn't make you a Christian.
Right.
So that's the first thing. So then the second thing in that mindset, once you become a Christian, so a lot of guys are probably watching this saying, okay, I've done that first thing. The second thing is we live our lives to honor God, right?
I think this is where we talk about, it comes back to leading by example. And we touched on it earlier in the conversation. I think that at that stage of the game, now we're supposed to be leading a life and trusting Christ that way. So we've already stepped in. Step number 1, we've trusted. Number 2, we're supposed to be learning and leading a life of example.
Yeah, so I think that means a million things potentially, but that means number 1, hopefully men, if you've never established a prayer life, that you establish a prayer life and model that for your kids, right? Number 2, you learn to read your word. Don't just trust your pastor to read your word and interpret it for you, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
For the guys out there, a lot of guys have porn problems. You give that over to God and you say, I want to get over this thing, right? That's all, and there are, again, a million other things, but that's all part of this, mindset of saying, I'm going to be a guy who is changed, who's different because I'm a follower of Jesus. So then that leaves us with one more thing to go full circle, right? And it's this third thing, which so many Christian men don't ever get to, which is just a shame. And it has to break the heart of Jesus. And that third thing is helping other people, mentoring, discipling, finding someone else to invest in, and discipling someone else and helping someone else go full circle.
I agree. And it's kind of sometimes it's the hardest step, because you're stepping outside of yourself and your home, and you're going to help other people in a mentoring type relationship where now you're responsible for others, and not just the family that you go home to every night, which is obviously very important. Now we're going to reach outside of that, and we're going to mentor people that are not part of the home.
Yeah. And here's what just really strikes me when I talk to my men's group about this. I say this is where the mindset really comes in, because I know a lot of guys that just can't stand consumeristic people, takers. Like, man, you might have kids at home that are just immature still, and they're just take. They never appreciate, they never pitch in or whatever, right? And that would just bug a guy, right?
Sure.
And any decent guy, I think that just would really bug. Yeah. And yet so many Christian men live their Christian life that way. They go to church and take. They take a sermon, listen to it, oh, that was a good sermon, and go home. And they just do that for, year after year, decade after decade.
Right.
And what they're becoming is this person who is just the taker. They're not getting in the game and going full circle and being a giver in their Christian life.
Yeah, they're a consumer. So you're consuming and you're never giving back.
Yeah.
There's no stepping out and giving back to people around you and creating other mentors to go give back.
Yeah, that's right.
If we just started doing that one at a time, it would change our neighborhoods and our cities and our world.
Yeah, that's so good. So man, listen, I hope that you use the questions below and really talk about this. I hope that maybe something we said here will just spark something in you and realize, man, I want to do that. I'm missing something in my Christian journey, and I really want to have a new mindset. I want to go full circle. Again, we'll have some links and topics and some other stuff below so that you can dig into that a little bit more, and everything on our site will help you to go full circle. You can use those tools to invest in other people and really become a producer, a disciple maker. So check out all those links below, and we'll see you in the next video.